Hi everyone and welcome along. It is day 23 on the Advent calendar. What are we painting today? It had to be Father Christmas's sleigh filled with all those presents he's going to deliver tomorrow. Grab your paints and let's get started. Right, so Father Christmas's sleigh laden with presents. We're going to draw the sleigh first, so that's the sort of curve of the shape of the vehicle, and then the top is going to come down and we'll have a little sort of walkway for him to get in, and then he's going to have sort of skis underneath. If you want to use a ruler, go for it. I've just been living dangerously there. Okay, so I think we'll have a combination of presents which can be done sort of a bit like that. That doesn't make sense. There we go. A funny shaped present there. And then a few sacks with all the smaller presents in. I don't know where Father Christmas is going to sit, but he does manage to defy a lot of expectation anyway, so he knows where he's going to sit. Maybe he's got a second sleigh where he sits. Anyway, we'll do a nice sort of decorative side. Lovely. And I think a nice bell. I don't know why I've decided he's got a bell on his sleigh. There you go. Okay, so that looks rather nice. If you've drawn heavily in pencil, give it a little rub out like that, and then we'll get painting. Right, colours. A bit of a hair in the palette there. Good old bit of gold, so the yellow and the yellow ochre. Nice combination there. A bit more of the yellow. And the sleigh, it's got to be Father Christmas colours, so we'll have it red, but I really like adding in a bit of this crimson just to deepen it, makes it a bit richer, doesn't it? So we'll begin with just getting the sleigh painted. I'm going to paint in the yellow outline first. Much on the brush there. If you find yourself with too much paint on the page, just get your brush and take it over to the palette or the bit of kitchen roll and just remove the excess paint or water, blot it off, and then you can go back and feel a bit more in control. I think the bell would be gold as well. So that was a good example. I just took the paint off my brush. I didn't need too much. Okay, we'll let that dry before we put the red in. But what I can do is I can paint in the sacks which I'm going to do in a slightly shadowy colour. So just add more water until we get a nice pale colour. Just got to be careful going up next to the yellow. I don't disturb it too much. And I imagine, given the yellow a bit of time, the red will be able to go on lovely. So we'll get this red coloured in and then we can look at the presents. I've just added some blue and green to the palette, Cobalt Blue, and I'm going to paint in the ribbons on these presents first. I'm using my 4/10 brush. I find it easier to add the ribbons first, because then we can see how much present we've got left to add wrapping paper decoration to. And I could have painted them in like a pale wash, but I like to try things differently every now and then. And I think what I'll do is I'll add a bit of pink to the blue, make purple. This is definitely the kind of thing you want a small brush for, it's very fiddly. And then we'll have a pink one at the top. I'm also going to add bows. A bit of blue from there because I turned it into purple. You know what, I actually quite like the presents as white. There's something quite satisfying about that. I think might do a tiny bit of edging on them. Anyway, whilst they are drying, what I want to do is make this sleigh look as smart as possible. So I'm going to just add a little bit of burnt sienna into my green gold. Not green gold, beg your pardon. Burnt sienna into my yellow ochre. There we go. And I am going to do some dots along the gold. I guess they're sort of studs or something. you can make things suddenly look very impressive and detailed by adding the simplest marks, just by adding dots, dashes. And I'm also going to add a little bit of extra sort of detail to the legs on the base. Really nice. Okay, so let's see, a little bit of deeper, darker pink just along that line there. Just makes it look a little bit smarter. And then a tiny bit of concentrated Payne's grey for the bell, even though I might wait for that to dry before I stick my hand in that. But yeah, we're going to paint the bell, and we'll also just add a little bit of shadow to the presents. I hope you don't mind, but I did that little bit of that bell post just off camera, just to make sure I didn't stick my hand in and mess up the painting. Oh, that's quite nice. I quite like the little blend you get. That's cool. Get some colour on these presents without actually having to put any colour on these presents. That's quite good. Okay, I'll do a little bow around these sacks to make them look a little less like burglar's swag. And then last off, because I'd like to think that Father Christmas is in the snow, just add a little blue to my shadow mix. And there he is in the snow. And there we have our penultimate illustration for the Advent calendar. I really hope you enjoyed that one, and I hope everyone's been good this year for Father Christmas and will find something exciting under the tree or in their stockings tomorrow. So yeah, I really hope you're enjoying it. I'm loving painting with you. Share your paintings on Instagram and tag us at the Winton Paper Co. And I will share as many as I can. See you tomorrow for our last painting.